Hi everyone! Sorry again, it's been a while. I've just had a lot going on basically, and I'm kind of trying to get back into things, but I'm going to stop promising to be regular with the videos until I guess I know for definite that I can be. Currently my spare room is not really usable and I've just cleared enough space to sit down and like put my camera up. But this room's kind of just becoming, we have no room for this, shove it in the spare room while we sort out the actual rest of the house. So it's been difficult to actually film videos the way I'd like to, and I think that's kind of put me off a bit doing it, and I've just had a lot going on in my actual life, which I'm sure, you know, we all have been through periods where we've just got a lot of stuff going on. I've had the 2 weddings that I was talking about, if you watched things I'm looking forward to, and I was quite like involved in both weddings, like I was helping out both brides and whatnot, so obviously like a lot of my time went to that, and I've had like a lot of events and things. I have tried to be a bit more active on Snapchat since I haven't been very active here. Like one day I just realised I've not been on YouTube for ages. I'll use Snap so that people kind of know I'm still around. So if you follow me on Snapchat, I've not completely gone away to you. But yeah, I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to be as regular as I'd like, and I'm trying to kind of get back into things, but I'm not going to promise that I'm going to be making videos, you know, every week or whatever until kind of I sort my own life out. So thank you again for your patience. I feel like I'm going to have to say this every video, but thank you for sticking around if you're still subscribed. I'm just trying to get things in order really. Buying a house is difficult, and it requires a lot of work and a lot of effort, and keeping a full-time job secured and making sure your friends and family are happy. A lot of these things have just all been coming up to me at once, and I've just had to put a lot of things above making YouTube videos, so I'm really sorry I've been gone a while, but here I am. I'm not completely gone. I don't want this channel to just stop. I don't want it to, you know, I don't want to just give up on it. So I'm trying. And another thing to go on top of that is that the program that I use to put clips together when I like make videos that are more like vlog style has changed, and now there's huge watermarks over all my videos, which kind of put me on a bit of a downer about making videos. I think I just kind of defeated myself and gave up a little bit. So I was going to upload, obviously not monetized or anything, a video of some of the footage from when I went to Synthesis and the Evanescence concert, but that hasn't really gone to plan, so sorry. It was amazing and I had a really great time, and I cried a couple of times because it's me and Evanescence. But yeah, that footage is sadly not coming. Really sorry. Anyways, let's actually get on with the video, shall we? So, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to rank Epica's albums. I'm going to rank the main 7, like, actual studio release albums, no EPs, no live stuff, like, not the, like, score album or anything like, just literally the 7 Epica, like, standard albums. I'm going to rank those, kind of because I'm a little bit excited about the Attack on Titan EP coming out. Thought, oh well, let's talk about Epica while I'm excited about them. When am I not? And just because this was a video I've been thinking about for a while, so it just kind of aligned, and it's a good way to get me back. So hi! I also have my physical copies so you can see exactly which album it is I'm talking about, so yes, let's get on with it. So in last place, my least favourite, I don't like dislike it or anything, you know, there's no bad feelings here, but the last place album I have, 7th, is the Phantom Agony, which I'm sure nobody is surprised about. But I'm just not that big on Epica's older things, older music, which you can probably guess what's coming next. Sorry, I know there's a lot of people that are very elite about Epica's first 2 albums and think that's the Epica sound and don't like Simone's changing voice and whatnot. I'm the other way around. So, you know, sorry, I guess that's all I can say. Yeah, so this album, I have the like deluxe mastered edition, so I have like two CDs worth, so I've really listened to this album because it's got like a full orchestral version and whatnot on the second disc, and I just like it. I don't love it. And this also has Cry for the Moon on, which, you know, I'm sick of hearing Cry for the Moon if you've heard me talk about it at all, so it just kind of gets put in last place. Sorry. Next, shockingly, surprisingly, in 6th place is Consigned to Oblivion. Apparently my album's coming apart a little bit. Anyways, but I also have the remastered edition of this. Again, it has 2 discs, so I have like orchestral versions and whatnot as well. So again, I've listened to it quite a lot. But it's just not my favourite. I don't think Epica's older sound is anywhere near as good as the new sound. I feel like they get better and better as they go. So sadly I've had to put this in 6th place. There's literally nothing against it, and the only thing that this album has over the Phantom Agony is, I mean, one doesn't have Cry for the Moon on it, but it has The Last Crusade on, which is one of my favourite Epica songs, so it kind of earns that extra place up, and that's the reason why it's above that. But really those albums are kind of pretty much joint last. Sorry, anyways, I need to stop apologising. I think people know how I feel about Epica by now. The next one is maybe a bit of a surprise, but the more I thought about it, the more this felt right. And that is Design Your Universe, which, yes, this has Matter of the Free Word on it, which was my favourite Epica song for years. But it's one of those albums where I'll really listen to about 4 or 5 songs, and then the rest of them are just, if they come on, they're kind of like background noise to me. Not in a nasty, like, it sounds really nasty, but like, for example, the songs I really listen to on this album are Unleashed, Matter of the Free Word, Burn to a Cinder, and Design Your Universe. So really the singles, and it's nothing against the rest of the songs. I will listen to them enough times. It's just, for me, I don't know what it is about this album, I just prefer the singles really, and Burn to a Cinder randomly. But yeah, so Design Your Universe is kind of the lowest ranking of my actual favourite run of Epica, because all these this and all the albums after this are all albums I absolutely adore and would 100% recommend to anybody, even though I know that Epica aren't really everyone's cup of tea, but whatever. So the next one I have is the Divine Conspiracy. This is actually the first Epica album I ever had, so it's the first one I listened to in full, and it's when I only knew a couple of songs by them, and they were both on this album, which is Never Enough and Sancta Terra. So I think this album also holds a bit of a special place in my heart because it's the album that really got me into Epica. It has some, you know, absolute classic fan favourite songs. It has The Obsessive Devotion, which is such a strong fan favourite that me and my best friend sometimes call this album The Obsessive Devotion. But yeah, like that is one of the best Epica songs. It's absolutely amazing, and I mean, there's so many good songs on this album. I mean, this whole album, like, I'm looking at this album, I'm like, what's the weak point of this album? The weak part of this album, I'm going to say, is Safeguard to Paradise. I don't really listen to that one very much. But like every other song on this album, yeah, I listen to a lot. Oh, and the, don't make me pronounce this. The one that's like the interlude song. You know what I'm talking about. Please don't make me pronounce things because I'll just butcher them. But I don't really count that as an actual song really, because it's just like a bit in the middle, like an interlude, so... The actual songs, I listen to pretty much every single song of this all the time. Next, and I'm sure you've realised now that my top 3 albums are the most recent run of Epica, which is my absolute all-time favourite period of them, and the one I'm going to go for in 3rd place is the Holographic Principle, which is the latest full album by Epica. There's also, they've just released an EP and they're releasing another one, but I'm counting just albums. And I have like the big shiny edition of this as well, with all the bonus acoustics, and I think part of the reason why this one is in 3rd place is the acoustics, but also this for me is an album, again, within the concept of this main run of Epica that I love, where it's got very, very strong hits and then like okay songs. There's a few songs that I'm like, Epica need to stop making this song happen because it's not going to happen to me anyways. Like, I don't understand why they play Dancing in a Hurricane every time. I don't understand why they play Ascension every time. They should be playing from this album, in those places. They should be playing A Fantastic Parade every time, and they should actually start playing the Cosmic Algorithm because they never play it, and I want them to. And they're two of my all-time favourite Epica songs now. But like I say, the album as a whole, there is a few like weaker songs, like I've just said, and I really love the singles on this album as well, but it's just not quite as strong as the other recent efforts. And in second place, which was my favourite album for a long time and then it got bumped off, is probably quite a shocking one because most people think this is not a very good Epica album, and that is Requiem for the Indifferent. I love this album. People say it's too proggy. I don't care. I love this album. And it is the album that kind of solidified that this was my favourite band, other than actually seeing them live. This to me was just perfection and I absolutely adored it. From the second that Monopoly on Truth kicks in, I was like, oh, this is my favourite band. Like, so yeah, I mean, it actually starts with Karma, but again, I don't really listen to like intro tracks, interlude tracks, instrumental in general. And I actually have the edition of this album where Serenade of Self-Destruction is instrumental by accident, and I just thought it was some instrumental track for ages, and then when I heard the actual lyrics, because it was on Retrospect, and I went back and listened to a version with the lyrics online, obviously I can't listen to it on my CD, that became one of my favourite songs too. I think this one has got one of the more commercial, everybody should listen to it and get into Epica singles with Storm the Sorrow. For some reason they only released one single for this album, which might be why people don't have a lot of love for it, but I think this is just such a well-rounded piece of music. Like, every track flows beautifully together, and this is a really good Epica experience for me, and I really don't care that it gets a bad reputation from people. My only upset with this album is that I don't have the edition that has Twin Flames on it, because that is one of my favourite ballads of all time. And that's it, that's my gripe. But it's just not quite as strong as... I think you all knew it was number one. I think anyone who's watched any of my videos was like, well, I know what's coming at number one. Of course you did. And that is the Quantum Enigma by Epica, of course. This is my favourite album maybe ever. It's strongly tied with Evanescence's self-titled album, and I think the reason why I can't quite bump it over that is because Evanescence's self-titled album is very, very personal to me and has a lot of meaning to my actual like life, and it helped me through a very tough time. So I think that's going to take a lot to get debunked, but I adore this album. I also have the like super fancy edition of this with the acoustic tracks, which are amazing. The In All Consciousness, right, it's In All Conscience, isn't it? And I keep saying In All Consciousness. I've done this in another video and I don't know why, just that's how my brain remembers it. But anyways, the acoustic version of that song, stunning, one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life. Oh, and I'm going to throw it apparently. But yes, my favourite song by Epica now of all time is Reverence. And I think this album just like solidified how heavy symphonic metal can be and how powerful, and I think it explored a lot of great themes and it has beautiful artwork just to add on top of that. This is just a perfect album. There's not many albums I could say are a full perfect album. This is, well, these two I would say. And then obviously Evanescence is self-titled, and I'd probably say Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. That is an iconic piece of music, but I rank this up there with that. And yeah, whilst I wouldn't recommend this be, if you've never heard of Epica before, I wouldn't recommend this be the first album you listen to. I'd probably say if you're going to get into them, you should probably listen to the Divine Conspiracy first and do it the way I did, because I feel like that's how I brought myself in with them and like really fell in love with the progression. Anyways, but this is definitely one where I'm like, do you love symphonic metal? you should listen to this album. Like, is that a genre you're really interested in but you're not quite sure about Epica? You've heard a few songs, listen to this album, you'll be into Epica in no time. So yeah, just thought I'd do a quick little fun list video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you whenever I can. I'm gonna have to just keep saying it like that now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!